welcome to my Voices Have Tourettes, and that's why we love music. I'm Dan Zarin, your host, and today we have a wonderful episode for you. Before we get there, this episode has been brought to you by Gamesless Studio, The Secret Cellar, Iceland's first and only comedy club, and Smaude's Volcano Sauces, the best hot sauces I've ever had in my life. I love how I twitched when I said that, so it seems like I'm lying, but I'm really telling the truth. It's just, you know, Tourette's sometimes. I think my Tourette's doesn't like the sauces because it has weird effects on the tics, but I personally love the sauces, so they're great. Anyway, but I am joined here by two of my very, very dear close friends. And today we're going to talk about some wonderful things, but I want to introduce them. First of all, over here to my left, we have the wonderful Alex Ford.
Hello.
And then joining us through video because of COVID, we have Stefnir Benedictson.
Yeah.
So both of you, welcome. This is the first time we have a My Voices Have Tourettes three-way. I don't know if that's really the best way to put it. The look on his face of just, yeah.
Sounds fun.
But this is the first episode with three people in it. So I guess, a little clap to that. Yeah. Boom. So to get this started, though, basically, what we're doing with this episode is I wanted to do an episode where we talk about music. And at some point, we're going to talk about karaoke because both of you all of us love karaoke. But I wanted to talk about how music affects mental health and how it has an effect on that. So I guess kind of to get this started, like Alex, this is kind of leave Stefnir a little bit, but you actually have written music that has a mental health theme.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know if it really has like a mental health theme, but I've used writing music as like kind of like therapy. And so I put like all kinds of stuff into my music, but yeah, so it's like about good times, and sometimes it's about like I have songs about like depression and stuff like that, and so yeah.
And I mean, how is like, I mean, for both of you, maybe we'll start with Stefnir on this one. Like, I mean, when you guys listen to music, I mean, everyone talks about how music has that effect on the brain, whether you're going through depression or you're, going through anything really, people talk about how music really has an impact on helping with that. Have you found that music has helped you with coping with certain things?
Yeah, but I should listen to more music because it really does help. I forget to listen to music, but it certainly does help. Yeah, absolutely.
Have you found any like specific genres have made a difference?
I'm partial to metal.
Yeah.
Like I grew up in the 80s, so when my most formidable years music-wise were when grunge was happening.
Right.
So whatever is grungy, that floats my boat.
We were actually, Alex and I were actually just talking last night about the fact that like, it is interesting how, like, people associate different genres of music to different emotions. And metal tends to get kind of pushed away. People go, oh, well, there's a pop song that's great for getting out of depression, or there's, this hip hop song that's really great for this, emotion. But what they don't I think the best I've ever heard about metal was from a movie with the greatest name of all time. It's called Deathgasm. It's a horror movie, and it's but there's a scene where like this guy in corpse paint is talking to this girl who looks like she's part of the popular kids, and she's talking about how she doesn't understand metal, and he's explaining to her in the sense of like let's put it this way: imagine like every emotion that you have, and just letting all of it out at once. And that's kind of what metal is about. Because metal can be about anger, it can be about love, it can be about passion. Every emotion that we have, it can be in metal, and it's kind of just that outlet of just letting it out, no matter how it sounds.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very much.
Maybe that's why I'm not such a metal fan. It's too much.
It's too much. Well, it is another effect of metal is that sometimes it actually increases anxiety for people.
Yeah.
Right. And there was this study, I forget what it was called, but apparently when you listen to Pearl Jam, it's supposed to cause depression. But I just figured people with depression have an inclination to listen to Pearl Jam.
Yeah.
Well, I thought I thought that's when you listen to Nickelback.
No, that's just if you want to really end it.
That's if you want to just really end it. That's what when you get to the end of your life and you're just like, you know what, I want my Nickelback, I'm out. That was a great comment for a show raising awareness for things.
Yeah.
But actually, because we've kind of to get a little bit into the karaoke thing, because this was something that actually, Stefnir, you've mentioned to me before, because with karaoke, you like just using it as that outlet to just let all of your emotions out.
Absolutely.
And I've noticed you do that as well with karaoke.
Yeah, a little bit.
Which is kind of similar to the whole metal thing.
Well, I feel it's the only safe place to, scream at the top of your lungs without getting arrested. You know what I
mean? Yeah, it is kind of the only way to do that without people thinking that you're just weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you might scare somebody, and it's bad.
I remember we had this conversation in Finland. You were like, I just want to go and sing at the top of my lungs, but people will look at me funny.
Yeah.
It's fun. Like if you're in a group of people, though, you can totally get away with that. Like if I remember just like running down Leover, like Main Street, with my friends, and just like, we were singing "Lollipop" by Aqua. I remember one particular, and we went down the street and we were singing it like just screaming it out. And people looked at us funny, but when you have someone to do it with, it's fun.
Yeah, when you're alone screaming at the top of your lungs, people really think you're losing.
Yeah, but I still do it though. I mean, I sing with my headphones on out on the street, and I mean, maybe not at the top of my lungs, but still.
Well, I think it kind of depends a little bit on what you're singing, because if you go out there singing Adele, that's one thing. But if you go out there and you start screaming like "I hate my life," I think that's gonna get a different reaction from people.
Yeah.
But that's what music is, though. I mean, if you think about it from the grassroots nature of it, it is invoking an emotion from people. I mean, that's why they say that people put their heart and soul into music. And there are people that base their entire lives off music. I mean, and it is situations like this. If you go out and you sing a song, and people, like some people will go, "Oh, I love that song," and then you scream at the top of your lungs, and they're like, "I don't know that one."
Yeah, and it's also some of the songs that I love are associated with certain memories or certain people or certain situations. So it really helps reconnecting with a memory or
which sometimes can be. Because like there are songs that I avoid because they remind me of certain like parts of my life or certain situations or people that I don't necessarily want to remember so much. So like I hear a song on the radio and you're just like, oh, damn it.
Yeah, some of the songs also, like when you hear an oldie but goldie, but it's one of the songs that you grew up with.
Yeah.
You also feel when you start hearing the Foo Fighters on like How Could Radio, or you start feeling a little older.
I have to ask, when did they start playing rock music at supermarkets?
When did they start?
Yeah, because I noticed like when I was a kid, I mean it was all just like light, bubbly, like elevator music, like do do do. Do that kind of stuff.
That sounds terrible. I think it's just the radio.
Yeah, but then like out of nowhere, I remember one year I was there and I was listening to like Foo Fighters came on at the supermarket, and I'm just like, is this like classified as relaxing music now? Like just casual walking music? Is that what this is classified as now?
Well, I mean, I don't know. I thought they just always had the radio on, except for like in in Harker, because we've already mentioned that one, they have that weird thing where they have like that kind of music, but then every once in a while you'll have this woman going like lava cheese.
Special offer on aisle 4.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, get it here because that's what we know what you want. You know, it's really weird. It makes me feel like I'm in like a, you know, what's that movie called with the glasses and the seeing all the subliminal messages? It's like that's what it is.
They
It's
Live.
like it's like subliminal messaging in the thing. And all of a sudden you're like, I kind of want lava cheese.
Just in the middle of, what if I say I'm not like the others? Meanwhile, on aisle 3, you can get cheese made from lava.
Cooked on lava, man. Get your facts straight.
What if then you start thinking, well, what if they said this cheese was not like the others and that's why I want to buy it?
Yeah. Now, I remember, like, though, when I was working at, like, a fast food place, and we were only allowed to have the FM, 957, so, like, pop radio. We weren't allowed to put on, like, the rock channels or the hip-hop channels or anything like that, because they were like, I don't know. It was like we had to listen to the same 10 songs over and over again for 8 hours, I suppose. Wasn't torture enough just working at the fast food place in and of itself. Yeah, I don't know.
Well, they might also be thinking about they don't want the song "Fuck the Police." Fuck the police.
Yeah.
Well, that's another thing I thought was weird because, like, when we opened the secret cellar, and like I was basically like figuring out the music that we were gonna play, and I was just basing it on what I remembered, like the popular bars that I used to go to. I used to just base it on what music they played. So I was like, oh, okay, so basically just like you get some rock in there, but then you want to make sure that you have songs that people know. And so I was like putting that music on, and I was like, all right, this seems like like reasonable music. And then I go into like other bars, and it's just like it goes between like every genre, and I'm like, wait, where are we right now? I don't even know what emotion I'm feeling because I don't know which emotion they want me to feel. Because like I would go into like one of the bars downtown, and they'd be playing like an old Megadeth song, and then after that, like I just imagine like the person being on the radio going, so that was "Sweating Bullets" by Megadeth.
Such a good song.
Oh, it's such a good song. And next up is "Barbie Girl" by Aqua. And it's just like, wait, what?
Well, that's the kind of like, I don't know if it's different in like radio in Iceland, but like you have certain maybe genres or certain periods of time. So like if you have like the retro stations, you'll have just a certain period of time, and that's all the freaking genres. You'll go from like, hair metal to disco and
The span of a second.
But it's also like, because I remember once I was working at a restaurant, and it was like this pretty crappy restaurant, and no one came in there. And it had good food, just people didn't know it was there, and it was pretty crappy. Anyway, I was working there like all the time. I was like opening, closing, whole thing, and I asked him about like music. What should I have? And the manager was just like, yeah, just put on whatever you want. And at the time, I was listening to like weird, or not weird stuff, but just like lots of like kind of like metal techno stuff a little bit, and like Paramore was in there, and like Skunk and Nancy and stuff like that, and it was all over the place, right? Because my music taste is just and then we got like this review guy from I think like Grapevine or something, and he came in and he specifically mentioned like how just crappy the music was there. Because it's also like, you can't just like, oh, I have this, weird taste in music or whatever, I'm just going to play whatever I want. But when you're thinking about like in a restaurant and like the energy that you want, that's not ideal.
No, restaurant music has to cater to the ambience of the place.
Yeah.
Although to be fair, when I was working at Bjartnefell, when that was still around, I did. So I was working by myself, and I had this customer come in, and it was basically just me and this one guy, and he comes up to me and he's just like, "Do you mind if I make a music request?" And I'm thinking, oh goodness gracious, it's going to be like one of those old Icelandic songs that no one listens to anymore. And he goes, do you have Duality by Slipknot? No, I was just like, you want me to play Slipknot at a bar at 2 p.m. when we're right next to like a party bar? And he goes, yeah, that's what I want. And I'm like, all right. So I thought, you know what? Fuck it. Like, it's just the two of us. And I put that song on, and instantly 4 people came in, and they were just like, we heard Slipknot. No bar plays Slipknot. We're partying here. And I'm like, guys, it's 2 p.m. What is going on? But yeah, you'd be surprised at what, because the thing is, now, of course, for them, I don't know what it was. I don't know maybe they just loved Slipknot, but maybe it invoked an emotion in their head, and they were just like maybe it reminded them of something, and they were just like, I want to go there. But I was curious. I want to kind of change this up to kind of talk about like actual effects. Now with certain music, have you guys found like let's start with depression, because depression is actually something we haven't really talked a lot about on this podcast. And have you guys found that there are certain styles of music or certain songs like specifically that have helped you when you're having a depressive episode?
So I have I think it's weird when I'm having a depressive episode, because I don't necessarily just get super sad. What happens if I actually, if I'm in a depression, is that I get kind of emotionless. And when I'm feeling that way, sometimes it helps to listen to music that makes me sad or makes me cry.
Yeah.
To kind of, get that out. And sometimes I'll
just
listen
to feel something.
Yeah, exactly. Just to feel something. And there's for example, this song, I'm going to plug it, Heaviness by Melkorka. It just came out on Spotify, and it's awesome. And you don't necessarily know exactly what a song was written about, but you might still have your own connections to it, and it reminds you of a feeling, or it reminds you of something. And that song is just the most recent one that's really kind of spoken to me. And yeah, when you listen to because for me the most important thing is the lyrics. What is the song saying? Right. And that's what I connect to.
So it's kind of in a way like ADHD medication. So it's like ADHD medication is so like with people with ADHD, they have so much energy. So the idea is to give them so much more energy that they basically shut down and they calm down based on having too much energy. So the idea is that you listen to, if you're in depression and you listen to a song that puts you more in depression, you feel better.
Yeah. Well, because it's not necessarily putting you more in depression. It's just, yeah, it kind of is. But because afterwards you have that release, because it's not just stuck inside of you anymore,
It's like if you had a pill bottle for a dosage of Adele, and it's just this music is to help you with your breakups. It might, although a side effect may be, it might make you think more about your breakups.
Yeah.
But what has your experience been, Stefnir?
Pretty much the same. When I'm feeling depressed, or when I'm feeling, especially when I'm feeling anxious, I like to put on music with a high beat, like a high rhythmic beat, to sort of get my heart pumping. And it's weird. Yeah. It should be the other way around, right? It should be, when you're feeling anxious, you should putting on relaxing, plinky plonky music with water running and birds chirping and all of that crap. But no, it's not like that for me. I put on Rusty Cage or Jesus Christ Pose or something like that.
But Rusty Cage is awesome. But no, but don't people say when you're having, for example, an anxiety attack, and when you don't know what it is or how it works, you keep trying to stop it, right? But what you really should do is let it go up and then taper down. So I think if it actually makes perfect sense, because you're making your
Right.
physical body go through it faster or
True.
something.
This is actually fascinating because it's another like one of those things I thought about with panic attacks is I mean like a lot of therapists say to find a distraction. And it's actually a very common practice when you see someone having a panic attack. The first thing that you're taught to do is basically ask them about something that has nothing to do with what's going on. So it's like if you have someone who's on vacation and they're having a panic attack, you say, "Hey, so what are you planning to do while you're on vacation?" Something to distract them and make them not think about it. But the question I've always kind of had with that is a distraction really helping, or is it kind of like pushing it away for a while until it comes back? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it's just it's a disruption of it.
Yeah,
It,
kind of just like it's like a pause on it. Like you're not really getting rid of it. You're just distracting yourself from it.
I wouldn't know about that. I haven't gotten a lot of panic attacks.
Okay.
I've just gotten like bouts of panic, not panic attacks where you think you're dying.
Well, panic attacks are very varied, so it's not just the hyperventilating, freaking out that is a panic attack, but you can have, just like crying outbursts or like all of a sudden getting super irritable. Like that can also be a panic.
Right.
thing.
Yeah, I've got those.
But I think it's just kind of interesting because like what you guys are talking about with music and the emotions that it has or like the types of music that you listen to, it kind of seems like when someone has a panic attack and says, "You know what? I don't want the distraction. I just want to play this out. I just want to play this out and see how it goes." Because it's like when you listen to like if you're going through depression and you're listening to sad music, then you're kind of allowing it to happen. And you're just allowing yourself to live through that moment. Well, whereas if you were to be depressed and you were to listen to like happier music and try to get yourself out of the depression, you're not really allowing the depression to happen.
Yeah.
Right.
Which is interesting.
Right.
I've never really thought about that.
No, not really.
And I think that's part of why metal is very popular among people that struggle with depression, is that idea of just getting all the emotions out all at once. And it's also it kind of makes me think of like, wow, this isn't music related, but when a lot of people are struggling with depression and they watch horror movies and they specifically watch like really gory, really terrifying horror movies. No, and it's almost like that emotion of it's like they want to see someone else in pain with them.
Yeah,
Right.
I definitely relate to that one.
Well,
I can see how that works.
Well, we're a couple horror nuts, so
Yeah.
I mean,
But it's like you're able to just look at something and say, well, they're having a worse day than I am.
Right.
I think the weirdest thing, but like in my head it kind of makes sense, is like I don't remember who said it, but there was someone who was talking about how when they were on their period, they wanted to watch the bloodiest horror movies ever. And I was just like, wait, so you're having an experience where there's already a lot of blood and you want to look at more blood? And they're like, yes. I'm like, oh, okay. But it helped them. So no, there is that. But I think now are like we've talked about like specific songs. We talked about depression. Now like Stefnir with bipolar disorder or autism, have you found music has had an effect on those?
Well, when I'm on my way up, I seem to start writing lyrics.
Mm-hmm.
So, and they are really lofty, trying to explain everything. But specific music, I like, when I'm running, I like music with a certain beat. So that may be linked to the autism. When I'm walking, I want a certain beat.
You want to be able to walk to the beat or run to the beat.
Right. That's very important to me. So I guess that could be related to the autism thing.
Yeah, I find that
Yeah.
I can't walk to a different beat than the music I'm listening to. So if I'm listening to a song that's too fast and I'm not keeping up, I need to switch.
Have you
Yeah.
have either of you ever been so into a song that you almost walk as if you're in the music video?
Oh, many times.
Like,
yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like I remember when I was a kid, I used to have this thing where like when I was listening to like a hard rock song, there would be like a build up to like that, that hit where it goes into like the chorus, and I'd have this is so embarrassing, but I literally used to
Heard this one.
I used to walk and I'd have like my eyes closed, and then as soon as the beat hits, I open my eyes like it's in the music video. And I remember once I did that and I looked around and I was just like, oh, I hope no one saw that.
No, but it can give you like also a certain attitude and a certain kind of power or empowerment, when you're listening to certain types of music and you're walking down the street and you're like, this is my runway.
Or you start walking like Mario, like this.
No, that's never happened to me.
No, just me. Okay. I have
Totally relate. Sometimes I even put on certain music so that I can be in it.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, I've had like one of the things that I've struggled with for like a long time. It's not really struggle. It's just kind of weird because like the last thing that was discussed when I was in therapy was the idea that maybe I have mild dissociation because I have a hard time with controlling going back and forth between it's kind of like I don't have control over daydreaming. At times, and what goes into the dissociation thing is it feels very real to me. But I've noticed whenever I listen to music, and this has happened since I was a kid, is that I feel like I can't just listen to music anymore. I have to either imagine myself in the band, or I have to imagine myself in the room as they're writing the music. And it's something that like I've always noticed that like it always has that effect of making me feel calmer. Making me feel like more at ease because I'm not necessarily in the like part of the real world. No, that was something I was wondering if you've had any like situations with. This feels like a really weird way of saying it, but because of manic episodes and bipolar, have you ever had any situations kind of relating to this?
Not really with music, no.
Okay. And music hasn't ever affected your manic episodes?
Not really, no. No. Can't say that it has. Sorry.
Yeah, I don't know. I think one of the only reasons I ask is just because like one of the manic episodes that you talked about on stage was when you thought you were a doctor at a hospital. And I like when you go ahead.
I've had the thing where I feel like the music is catered to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're playing this. It's not the radio is playing it because I'm here.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
It's not just a random song that's going on. This song is going on because this stuff is going on in my life.
Yeah, because I was gonna say with when your brain made you think you were a doctor, and you said it was just like a click. It was just out of nowhere you had a new reality, and it's every time you said that on stage, I literally picture in my head that happening to you, and then just hearing like the soundtrack from Grey's Anatomy in the background. Just as soon as it flashes to that, like there's a scene in the show Supernatural where they're actually like warped. They're teleported into like a TV series land. So they're going through all these TV shows, like these soap operas and stuff like that, and the music changes in the background as they warp to each one. And that's what I imagined when you were saying that you were like basically being like a new reality just appeared, and I was just hearing like calm, soothing music in the background, and someone going, I don't know how to tell you this about your grandfather, but he's not going to make it, and it's just like all that stuff plays as soon as you say that.
Yeah, I get where you're coming from. That's just you being weird, man.
Yeah, both of you said I'm being weird. I know I'm weird. We've established this. I wouldn't have come up with the name My Voices Have Tourettes if I was sane. Okay.
True.
But you were saying though that like you've had moments where like you feel like the music is written about you. I think that is a very common thing. Like people listen to music, and I think that's why. No, like I mentioned Adele earlier. Adele is someone that like everyone listens to during breakups because they feel like it was written about their breakup. And like I was listening to Adele recently, and because I really love the music aspect of it, and I was listening to it, and I was telling Alex, I was just like, I finally understand why people say that Adele seems like it was written about their life, because I'm like, it feels like it was written about past experiences for me. And
yeah, it's very relatable. I think that's why it catches on so easily. It's so relatable.
Yeah. Like that whole theme to someone like you. I mean, every time I hear that, I'm just like, well, I mean, everyone has gone through a breakup where they've had that point where they've realized, you know what, never mind, I'll just find someone else like you.
Yeah.
And it's very interesting. Well, actually, I wanted to do something on this podcast that we haven't really done yet. I want to play a game. All right, a small game. It's a game that people have done online, and I'm just curious with you guys because it kind of says a lot about people's music tastes. So we'll start with Alex. So name a band that you love for every letter of your name, and we'll just do the first name. You don't have to do all of Benedict's son.
Right.
Although I'd kind of like to hear that.
Oh, I don't. No. Because there's an X in my name.
Yeah.
A band.
Yeah.
Okay, well, Anne Berlin.
Nice.
That's for A. And they're great. And they're very kind of emo. And I love them. Lacuna Coil.
Okay.
For L. Why is this so hard? I have like
E.
E.
Oh, come on. Every emo kid has listened to a song by them.
Yeah, but you say like a band that you love.
Yeah, I believe you performed one of this band's songs for a concert. Oh, or a competition.
What? What? I don't remember that.
What's the opposite of odd?
Even?
Okay. No, now when someone has like an aura or a about them. Oh, this is not working at all.
An energy?
An essence?
Oh. So Evanescence.
There we go.
Yeah.
Hey, you thought of it all on your own.
That was years ago. What are they doing now? I don't know. But what's X? I don't know.
I know one. But I don't know that you would have listened to much of their music.
Probably not.
X Japan.
No, I've never heard of that.
Okay, so Stefnir. So we got Anne Berlin, Lacuna Coil, Evanescence, and X Japan.
Sure.
Unless you can think of another X.
I know I cannot.
Okay. So Stefnir, it's your turn.
Well, I'd have to go for Soundgarden for S.
Nice.
For sure. But T, I got nothing. I don't know. The only band I could think of is T-Rex.
Okay, that's a good band.
E is hard.
Yeah, this is fucking hard. And I hardly ever know band names. I just know, hey, I know that song. You know, it's the guy with the hair. Right? Yeah, this ain't working. This is bad TV right here.
This is bad TV.
So you got. So this is just bad TV. You got Soundgarden. You had T-Rex. You had so E. You couldn't think of.
Back in the day, I used to like Evanescence. So
All right, well, we'll do 2 Evanescences. That's
Sure.
fine. So now N. No, F.
Foo Fighters, for
Foo
sure.
Fighters. All right. And then N.
Nirvana,
Nirvana.
very grungy.
And then
Yeah.
I.
Incubus,
Incubus. Nice, nice. And then R.
See, I can already think of like so many more on your name than mine.
Right.
isn't that typical?
Yeah.
How about one that talks about it talks about a name. It also talks about killing. It also talks about
Yeah, that's easy. Come on now. Rage Against the Machine, man.
There we go.
Yeah,
So-
those are really good and influential in my life. Except for T-Rex, maybe. I don't know a lot of stuff by T-Rex. That's the only T band I know.
Yeah, but it's a classic. I'm being pointed at. I'm going next.
Your last name.
My last name. Oh,
It's
jeez.
too easy.
Dan is too easy.
Well, I was gonna say, should I go with Dan or Daniel? I could do the full name. Zarin. I don't like this game anymore. Because I had everything planned for if I had to do Daniel.
Well, that's not fair because you brought the game to us and then you have
No,
everything
I was just
planned.
thinking while you guys were talking. Are there any band names that begin with Z?
Yes.
I'm sure there wasn't there a band called Zero?
There was also a band with 2 Z's in the beginning.
With two Z's in the beginning.
I know what he's talking about.
Oh, ZZ Top.
There you go.
That took me way too long to figure out. All right. Okay, so we'll go with ZZ Top. We'll go with Eve 6.
Yep. It's a good band.
We'll go with Oh, I was No, I can't go Reckless for Pretty Reckless.
No.
No. This was so much easier with my first name. Wait. I was literally going to say Rage Against the Machine again.
Well, we have 2 Evanescences, right?
The Roots. The Roots. And then I for In Flames. And then N for, you know what? I'm going to end with Nickelback. Fuck y'all. Hey, you know what? Because How You Remind Me was a damn good song. I don't care what anyone says.
See, that's the thing. I don't get the whole hatred on Nickelback. I really don't.
I don't get the hatred on a lot of bands, to be honest. I mean, Nickelback had some solid jams.
Totally.
They did. Yeah. Were they the best songs ever written? Maybe not. But they were still some songs.
Yeah, I like them.
Yeah. It's like saying that you like pineapple pizza. I mean, it's really not that big of a deal.
Not big a deal.
I mean, you like pineapple on pizza.
Yeah.
Our cameraman Thodotler likes pineapple on pizza. You like pineapple. Yeah. It's what? Okay. So Benedictson. No, I'm kidding. That would just be torture if I had you do your last name. Oh man.
That's long.
Well, I had some comments about, because I remember when I was a kid, and I wanted to ask you, Stefnir, about this also, if you'd done this as kind of as stimming, singing as stimming. Because when I was in grade school, I remember I'd be doing projects or whatever, and then someone would throw something at me and be like, will you shut the fuck up? And I would have just not noticed that I've been singing for the past 5 minutes.
Oh.
In class, everyone's quiet, but I'm singing and loud, but I didn't even realize it. And I've always done this, singing outside when I have my headphones on. And when I was a kid, I was always like, oh, is there someone, could someone hear me? But honestly, right now, I don't really care. I just do it.
Well, when I get when I get excited, which hasn't happened for a long time now, on account of the whole COVID shit and all the anxiety that comes with that.
Yeah.
But when I get excited and I'm happy, I sort of want to do I do. It sort of sounds like scatting, you know, like skibbity bit, skidaloot, you know. So a lot of that comes out. So yeah, I think that's stimming.
Yeah, I do kind of the same thing, but it's more like do 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 do. Like
Yeah.
I don't know that this is stimming, but I do have one that you always continue. Like every once in a while I go do do do, and you always like end with a different song. Yeah, so sometimes it's Mighty Mouse, sometimes it's Jesus Christ Superstar.
yeah.
And I don't know why I do that. I just randomly do that. It's just like when I'm in the like walking somewhere, I'll just be like do 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 do.
Yeah. And also like beat stuff. I've had like one since I was a kid, which is it always is the same beat. It's the I don't know if I can like just doing this like
Down with the Sickness.
oh yeah, it is kind of that one. But
No,
yeah,
it's a
just
little
having
different.
that kind of like and also just the whole tapping. Like I've always done that.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Does that tick ever drive you crazy that I have? Because I feel like it does. I have this tick where, like I like drum on my legs, and I always like if there's someone sitting next to me, they become the hi hat. So it's like Alex will be here, and I'll just be like,
No, it doesn't bother me.
and I usually play like the same beats every time. I remember you like started singing along to it one day.
Yeah.
Was One by Metallica. Like I constantly go. And I don't know how that started. It just became a tick randomly. I'll just be sitting places and I'll be drumming on my legs. Like if ever there's if something makes a sound, I drum to the sound.
Yeah.
Have you ever done that?
Yeah.
Well, I do, especially when I'm driving. I always drum on the steering wheel.
Like the blinker, you're turning left or something, and it's like do 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 do, and I start going do 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 do.
Yep. I love
Sure.
the drum song also, where you're just like doing beats, and then you're supposed to like people are supposed to guess what song you're doing. I love that one.
Yeah, but that becomes tough. Because it's no. Have you ever noticed that like it's always because you hear it so perfectly in your head, but to everyone else it literally just sounds like this. Like it just sounds like one hand. Maybe
Depends on what song you're doing.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, no, that would be a fun game to play when we're all on video. I guess. Name the song. Do you know that one?
Oh yeah, I
It
do.
is a very famous drum beat.
Can you give it to me again?
I know it, but it's like
Can it Come Together by the Beatles?
Yep,
oh yeah,
that's the one. That was fun. That was good. All right. So we'll have to do this game sometime on video. We are though getting to the end of the episode. But first of all, thank you so much, Alex and Stefnir, for joining me on this episode. I think we should talk more about music. I'd like to do an episode about movies as well and talk about a lot more about that. And to those of you listening in, if you have anything you want us to talk about on the podcast, just send them into info@mvhtshow.com. That's info@mvhtshow.com with two squeaks. And hey, if you can't laugh at your own stuff, that was a Jim Carrey quote. But anyway, yeah, so this has been My Voices Have Tourettes. If you want to find out more about us, check out mvhtshow.com, or you can find us on Facebook or Instagram at My Voices Have Tourettes. We also have Twitter at MVHT Show. We also have a Pinterest. We also this episode has been brought to you by Gamesless Studio, The Secret Cellar, Iceland's first and only comedy club, and Smaude's Volcano Sauce, the best hot sauces I've ever had in my life. Best hot sauces. I like all the way through that. However, if you would like to support the podcast, check out paypal.me/MVHT show. That's paypal.me/MVHT show. And if you're listening to this on streaming services like Spotify or Apple Podcasts, feel free to subscribe and review our podcast. If you liked it, leave us a 5-star review. If you absolutely hated it, leave us a 1-star review. We want to learn more about what we should talk about and how we should talk about it and make this enjoyable for everyone. Other than that, thanks again for listening, and check out new episodes every Tuesday.
Right.